and welcome to Mornings with Ken Rosato. Today is Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. We will take your calls at 888-658-0234. To kick things off, meteorologist Mike Favetta has the forecast near you.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
All right, Mike, we're looking at some okay temps above freezing pretty
hmm
much all over the place. We'll take it.
Yeah, it was nice to see that snow melt away. I got to kick it off of the where it was remaining from the deck yesterday. But still, there is enough cold air around to support some of that fog to develop across most of the East Coast today. Have a little bit of cloud cover working its way in, but that fog will be present for most of the day, even dense at times, as some rain moves in for the rest of the morning into the afternoon. So wet weather taking over. It's going to be a little gray throughout this afternoon. Not a whole lot of sunshine, even as the temperature keeps warming up through this afternoon into tomorrow. So milder than average weather on the way as we take it into the rest of the day into tomorrow. Now, there's still a whole lot of rain down across the Southwest. If you've seen some of the video coming in from LA, some of those robot delivery gadgets getting stuck in the floodwaters there down in LA because of the heavy rain and all of the vehicles getting stuck in the snow. So it's another round of very heavy wet weather coming in off of the Pacific, pounding Southern California with that flooding rain today and delivering even more mountain snow. As we head into the rest of the day, there is this milder trend that takes over into tomorrow as well, but there is a cool down for the weekend, and the potential for some snow on Sunday is actually going up for the East Coast. We'll give you those details and time it out. Coming up with your next weather update, Ken, in a few minutes.
All right, sir. We appreciate you. We appreciate that. We have a temperature 30. Oh, look at that. It says 33 degrees in Trenton, but it says 39 degrees northern New Jersey. I don't know if I could trust that. It literally just went updated. So we'll see. And then we have 35, it says in Cape May. In Los Angeles, right now, it is saying 51 degrees. I'll take that temperature in time. So we prefer that. Also, there's a wind advisory in effect in LA, and there was a flood watch in effect too. So that I don't necessarily want, but got to let you know about that. In terms of traffic, let's look at what we have here. Once again, want to let you know about the airports. All the major airports in the New York City, New Jersey, tri-state area are saying that their major parking lots, they're big, like at JFK, it's parking lot 4, et cetera. They're all at 95 or 100% capacity. So make sure if you are driving to an area airport, and for some people in New Jersey, if you're not, other than Newark, it could be an hour and a half to get to the New York airports or more. Make sure you have a reserved parking spot. Otherwise, take an Uber, a cab. Don't risk it. Okay, just to let you know about that. Garden State Parkway, we have a crash northbound at the Toms River Toll Plaza. That's in Dover. All lanes are open to traffic, as you can see. But look at that. Pam, our incredible Director Supreme, happens to catch this live on the air. So she happens to get it as the police are trying to move away. Look at the flatbeds taking the car. But just beware, you might have some brake checking through there. Clearly, the cars don't seem to mind. They're flying right by. But again, that's Garden State Parkway northbound at the Toms River Toll Plaza in Dover. We also have a water main break. And this is, you're going to get a lot of this at the freeze, not freeze point. So over my years of doing this, I tend to find after a deep freeze, it's just when you get to the thaw point, that's when you get all the water main breaks because of the contraction and expansion of ice in the pipes, I'm guessing. So right now, if you go over to 202 this is in Morris Township, 202 at Washington Street has a water main break. So that's causing an absolute mess. And now there is a vehicle off to the side in that area because of it. Possibly because they don't want to drive through it. That's smart. Don't ever drive through standing water if you don't know how deep it is. We have a sewer main break at Route 46, both directions. The Little Ferry Circle and Little Ferry to Liberty Street, South Hackensack. All lanes are closed through there. Hudson River crossings right now. The Holland Tunnel is only 10 to 15 minutes across. The Lincoln is 15 to 20. GWB upper and lower levels. Take a look at this early hour. You can see the upper level on the right already. Some traffic with a little dense fog. On the left side, the lower levels moving pretty well. In total, it's telling us 15 to 20 minutes in. Over to the West Coast we go. We take a look at LA traffic. There's roadway flooding because, again, we had some flooding rains in Southern California. There's a flood advisory in effect right now and a wind advisory in effect. I'm just trying to see the latest that we have through 6 a.m. local time. That will be 9 a.m. Eastern time. We have that flood advisory in effect in Southern California. And as I take a look now, I'm zooming in on my maps. You can't see, but I have them off to my left. All of Southern California is under that. So from San Luis Obispo all the way down to, I should say San Luis Obispo, not Louis, all the way down to Long Beach. You have that in effect, just looking at the maps. Baldwin Park has a defective traffic signal now at Arrow Highway off-ramp at the 57 northbound. There's roadway flooding now in Baldwin Park, also at Route 57 at the 60. And we have a traffic collision, no injuries reported in central LA at the 110 at the Hill Street on-ramp. So just be aware of that if you head in that area. It is 6 minutes past the hour. Iran announced that it had reached an understanding with the U.S. on key guiding principles during indirect nuclear negotiations held in Geneva and mediated by Oman. Iranian officials said that progress was made, but emphasized that significant work remains before any final agreement is reached. The U.S. has evidence that Tehran is moving toward nuclear weapons capability, an accusation that Iran consistently denied, although we found their nukes and blew them up less than a year ago, half a year ago. Talks come amid heightened tensions, including 2 massive aircraft carrier strike groups stationed off of Iran's coast. Well, a frantic rescue operation in Lake Tahoe after as many as 10 people were buried in an avalanche. The backcountry skiers were on the 8,200-foot mountain just before noon yesterday when the snow collapse struck in Castle Peak near Frog Lake. A total of 16 people were blasted by the terrifying avalanche. While 6 of the skiers somehow survived the event, they still remained at the site awaiting rescue more than 5 hours after the avalanche was first triggered, leaving 10 still unaccounted for, buried in that snow. We pray for them. The crazed gunman who killed 2 people and seriously hurt 3 others at a high school hockey game in Rhode Island Monday was identified as a transgender dad who railed against anti-trans hate, he called it, in family legal disputes and social media rants. By the way, just pointing out that you might have a psychological illness is not anti-hate, okay? Just understand the difference. Many people on the left and many in the LGBTQ community say, as long as there's any discussion about it, you hate. It's not hate. 56-year-old Robert Dorgan, who shot 4 family members and a family friend before he turned the gun on himself, that's hate, at the Pawtucket ice rink, also went by the name Roberta Esposito. His daughter said he was deeply mentally disturbed. So why was he allowed to have 2 guns? Well, the night before the trans dad stormed the hockey game, he posted on X, quote, "Keep bashing us, but do not wonder why we go berserk." Yeah, and he did. That was in response to an anti-trans post. Dorgan is the father of a high school senior who was competing in the hockey tournament and underwent gender reassignment surgery in 2020. He takes lots of hormones. That has some effect. His transgender identity seemed to be a source of family court battles in the years before Monday's shooting, you think, which cops said was the result of a domestic dispute. His ex-wife filed for divorce in 2020 on grounds of gender reassignment surgery, narcissistic and personality disorder traits. The mystery DNA found on a potentially crucial glove found near Nancy Guthrie's Arizona home, as well as other genetic material in her house, do not match any records in the FBI's database of genes. The genetic material on the glove, which was found 2 miles from Guthrie's Tucson home, resulted in no database hits. Authorities still haven't identified any suspects or persons of interest in the disappearance of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie's mother, who was last seen on the night of January 31st. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not going to preserve whatever they found in those gloves, and if they have an arrest down the line, they'll try to match whoever that person is to the gloves. So it's not, all hope is not lost, let's put it that way. It is 7:09 East Coast, 4:09 West. American forces destroyed 3 more drug smuggling boats Monday in the Eastern Pacific and the Caribbean, killing 11 narco-terrorists. U.S. Southern Command posted a video of the operation on X. The strikes are the latest in a series of military operations which have brought the number of drug runners killed to at least 145 since September. By the way, drug distribution in the U.S. is down by about 50%. Think there's a connection? President Trump said the U.S. is in armed conflict with South American drug cartels and says the attacks are a necessary escalation to stem the flow of drugs. And it seems to be working. A major Hollywood bidding war underway as Netflix and Paramount Skydance compete to acquire key assets of Warner Brothers Discovery. Netflix proposed buying the company's studio and streaming divisions, valuing them at about $83 billion, while Paramount wants everything for a cool $108 billion. Paramount CEO David Ellison escalated the fight with a hostile takeover bid after Warner Brothers rejected their earlier offers. Each company wants Warner Brothers' huge content library to strengthen its competitive position as the world is reshaped, I should say, by streaming. A single-engine plane crash near Steamboat Springs, Colorado, Friday killed 4 people on board. The plane had taken off from Kansas City, was descending to land when it crashed into a mountain. Authorities identify the family as the Stokes family. Emergency crews had difficulty responding to the remote crash site. The FAA is examining the wreckage and flight data to try to figure out the exact cause of the crash. And Shia LaBeouf was arrested in New Orleans early yesterday after allegedly hitting 2 people at a bar during the city's Mardi Gras celebrations. Yesterday was Shrove Tuesday. Today is Ash Wednesday. LaBeouf was charged with 2 counts of simple battery. According to the police, the fight broke out after LaBeouf was accused of causing a disturbance and getting aggressive at a bar in the French Quarter. A staff member tried to kick him out, and once the actor was removed, one of the victims said LaBeouf punched him a few times. LaBeouf has a history of alcoholism and has faced accusations of violent behavior and domestic abuse in the past. And Tricia McLaughlin, the Department of Homeland Security's top spokeswoman, is leaving her post next week. McLaughlin is the chief spokesperson of the federal agency spearheading President Trump's illegal alien deportation campaign. She announced current DHS spokesperson Lauren Biss will take over as the agency's assistant secretary for public affairs. Since joining the administration, McLaughlin has become one of the most visible and vocal defenders of President Trump's deportation efforts. And Late Show host Stephen Colbert said CBS would not air his Monday interview with Texas Senate candidate Congressman James Tallarico out of fear the FCC will go after them. And he's right. We'll tell you why in a minute. Colbert kicked off Monday Night Show almost immediately mentioning Tallarico's absence. CBS and the FCC didn't immediately respond. The FCC reinstated its previous equal times rules, and that began in January. And that's why they said there's no way you're going to be able to give equal time to all the candidates, so you probably should rethink this. They never said you couldn't have him on, but he's a little bitchy crybaby, and he had to try to make it sound like the evil conservatives are after me. Yeah, follow the equal time laws. The liberals are the ones who came up with them first. When we return, caring for your heart goes beyond diet and exercise. We'll explain. We'll return with your full forecast. You're watching Mornings with Ken Rosato. Back in 2 minutes.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
And welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato for your Wednesday live in New Jersey and New York. And now we welcome our good friends in Los Angeles at 15 minutes past the hour. We'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. Meteorologist Mike Favetta is here now with the forecast near you.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
All right, Mike. Ash Wednesday today. You know,
Right.
I was tempted to get my ashes before the broadcast, and as a former Catholic priest, I'm still allowed to do things like the blessing of the ashes and things. And I said no because it's going to be one of those things where if I start going off on a rant, I don't want to
Okay.
make it look like I'm a hypocrite and have my ashes and my sackcloth, and then I'm off on a rant. So I figured, let's wait. Do you usually go for ashes, you and the family?
Usually do, yes. I'll be out this afternoon passing by the church where my son was baptized. So yeah, a little
Beautiful.
full circle. Right, right there
Very nice.
over over downtown. Hey, we've got some beautiful weather today though, but you'll need the umbrella if you head out because there's some wet weather that returns this afternoon. Beautiful in the terms that it gets warmer, not a whole lot sunnier, especially where we had this beautiful break of sun yesterday afternoon. Looked very pretty. And then the clouds returned. Well, it's all about the fog and clouds today. But there will be a little bit more warm weather throughout tomorrow and even for Friday. That is before some of that rain gets going again into the weekend. And then there's the potential for some snow. So for the rest of the week, we have this warmer trend that takes over for most of the country. And if you're planning to watch some Olympic coverage, maybe later on tonight, you're going to see beautiful, stunning, like rich blue skies like you haven't seen over in Italy with the clearing that occurs this afternoon. But that's about it for the clear sky because it's back to some snow and rain, especially for tomorrow's games over in the mountains. A foot of snow falling in Cortina, so lots more wet weather there, even in the valleys. Another half-inch of rain in Milan beginning tomorrow. So tomorrow night's coverage will be all clouds and showers. As far as our weather back here close to home, have another round of wet weather for Friday, and then I think Saturday is relatively dry, even though it's pretty cloudy. But look what happens by Sunday. The system tries to form offshore, throw back some snow our way Sunday night into Monday. May form a little too far east to be too impactful, but could pick up a light round of accumulation later Sunday going into Monday morning before colder weather sets in after that. So another round of chilly weather into next week, but I think it's our last round of real cold, Ken, before temperatures rise into the first week of March. So some brighter, warmer news ahead going into next week.
Very good, sir. But I like this whole warm-up thing. It's gotten me all excited. It doesn't take much. Doesn't take much. I didn't need, like, as a kid, Christmas gifts. Is my dad said, it's December 25th in the morning. All my friends are opening up their presents, and my dad says, "Hey, Ken, it's going to be warmer next week." That was my Christmas gift.
That was your
Okay,
present.
I'm lying through my teeth. But nonetheless, thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you. It is 33 degrees, northern New Jersey, 33 degrees as well in Trenton, 30 degrees now in Vineland, and it's 34 in Cape May. A little warmer down by the water. On the West Coast, 49 degrees with rain, little rain shower in Southern California. Talking to a friend of mine yesterday in I won't say the town, but well, it's Beverly Hills. I mean, you're not going to find this person, right? And he was saying how all you need is a spit of rain and everybody stays indoors. It's hilarious. I love that. Uh, so you all in Southern California know what I'm talking about. Let's look at traffic in the east on the East Coast right now. There's a water main break. This is on 202, both directions south of the of Route 24, Washington Street, Morris Township, and that has all lanes closed. We go over to the Garden State Parkway. There's an issue now. Debris on the roadway southbound, exiting at 130 BA in Woodbridge Township. I feel like I talk about 130 BA Woodbridge Township every day on this broadcast. It's right at the end of a curve. And I think that because of the turn, people who are texting are not paying attention. They get into accidents. There's debris on the roadway. It happens every day. Pay attention through Woodbridge. Please, it happens every day. And again, if you're heading to any of the area airports, make sure you have a reserved parking space if you're driving yourself. Many of those parking lots are full because this is a big travel week because we had the long weekend, et cetera. So make sure you give yourselves that extra travel time and make sure you have a reserved parking space. We look at the Hudson River crossings right now. The Holland Tunnel, we have delays right now. We're told at the South Tunnel eastbound, and that is just volume 20 minutes in from New Jersey to New York right now. It's 25 at the Lincoln. The GWB upper and lower levels, not too bad. You can see that the upper level on the right is a little slower than the lower on the left, but it's only going to cost you about 20 minutes in either way. A little fog in the area to look out for. Go over to the West Coast really fast. We have a traffic collision right now in Baldwin Park. That's at the 60 at Route 57. There's also a defective traffic signal at the off-ramp at Arrow Highway in Baldwin Park. And we have a traffic collision in central LA at the 110 and Hill Street on-ramp. Please be careful with that. 20 minutes past the hour, caring for your heart goes beyond the traditional diet and exercise. You know that chronic stress, anxiety, depression, even loneliness can have a serious impact on cardiovascular health, raising blood pressure, increasing inflammation, increasing cortisol, all bad things for you. Dr. Tara Chalicani is CEO of Preferred Behavioral Healthcare. It's an organization that integrates mental and physical wellness. And we say good morning to Dr. Chalicani. In fact, I was saying to our director, Pam, I know she passed it on to you. I said, Dr. Chalicani is one of my favorites, so much so that I would go crazy just to have her on and be able to see her. I love having you on, Dr. Chalicani. Good to
The
have you. Good
feeling
morning.
is mutual. Good to see you, Ken.
You bet. Same. Well, first off, talk about how mental health impacts heart health.
The thing is, we are one body, Ken. We don't separate at the neck, and our mental health is separate from our physical health. And when we ignore our mental health, we're ignoring our cardiac health. Because when we are under great amounts of stress, our cortisol levels raise, our adrenaline raises, which increases blood pressure. If we're not sleeping well, our bodies are not resting and repairing. When we have trauma, we have an increase of inflammation markers in our bodies, which also creates a chain reaction and can create other health issues. So we really have to pay attention to our mental health and connect the dots. Recently, I had an annual checkup, and the first thing I was handed, I was so proud of my doctor, was a depression screening. So we need to see more of this in healthcare because there is no separation. One thing absolutely leads to another.
Yeah, and who knows what can be prevented, right? By even the onslaught of some kind of an emotional crisis, by just having that conversation with your doctor right there and then. Maybe somebody is contemplating seeking help for whatever their emotional challenge is, but they need the advice from their physician to say, no, go and talk to somebody. You should just get this off your chest and be relieved. Why suffer with it? So what happens to the body or inside the body when that stress becomes chronic? That's an issue.
So this is when we're looking at things like an increase of plaque in our vessels, impacting our heart. Again, that inflammation can cause a whole host of issues in our body, autoimmune disorders being one. So the impact is tremendous. And one of the things, and I think we've touched upon this before in another conversation, is that loneliness impacts our mental health and physical health and can reduce our morbidity. There are statistics that when you're lonely, it's the equivalent of smoking cigarettes every day. So the health impact is as tremendous as something as smoking. So one of the things that we look for when people are depressed, they tend to isolate, which creates a reality of loneliness. So it's this perfect storm of social and physical indicators that can create long-lasting health risks. So what do we do to change that? Again, I cannot preach enough how important sleep is. 7 to 9 hours is the standard, but we need good quality sleep because when we sleep, our hearts rest, our minds rest, our blood pressure lowers, our heart rate lowers. Again, exercise, those are the two big things. If you sleep well and exercise, you can cure so many health ills. And we're also reducing inflammation when we move our bodies, in addition to helping our heart health. And connection is super important. We need people in our lives where we feel safe, where we feel supported, because I know there are people that activate our nervous systems. They make us stressed out. They increase our heart rate. So who are the people that you feel calm, that you can call them your people, where you feel safe? All of those things are so important. And then mostly getting screened for depression and getting screened for heart health, whether it's just a simple blood pressure check or a checkup. We need to keep the checks and balances.
Yeah, it's interesting that you talk about the importance of sleep because it really, if you think about it, it just goes so hand in hand with exercise. Exercise makes you tired later, gives you a better, longer sleep. And when you have a better, longer sleep, you're relaxed and energized so that you can get up and do the exercise. So there's a direct connection. I look at it with my 95-year-old dad right now, doctor. He has dementia and he tends to not be able to sleep if he is not doesn't have any kind of activity during the day. All you have to do at that age is give him a little activity, whether it's take him out for an hour, bring him outside to get some fresh air, do a little walking. He can walk, he can ambulate. It just needs a little help, and he sleeps like a baby all night. And then his mood and his memory starts to increase a little bit. So it is so amazing, that connection, and it's so, so essential, isn't it?
It is. And we see it with kids, right? When we have kids, we want them to be active and playing so that they sleep well at night. And that's why there's recess at school. They need a break, they need fresh air. And all of that is true for us. It doesn't stop when we become adults. We still need all of those things to be at optimal health and optimal performance. And we need to remember that heart health isn't just about cholesterol. Yes, that's very important, and we have to have it checked regularly, but we need to have that connection. We need to be active, all of the things for a well-rounded, healthy life.
It's so important. And even my little thing I was taught when I used to be 360 to try to get kind of a grip on myself. Every morning I started doing meditation, just 5 minutes before I got out of bed. It's amazing how it sets the day. How important is that to kind of tone your mind in the morning?
Exactly. And then there you go. When you're managing your stress, you're reducing the adrenaline, you're reducing the cortisol levels, which all impact our physical health. From weight
So
gain
important.
to sleep, it's all interconnected. And that's why I love conversations like this and your attention to
Mm.
subjects like this, because we are one person. There's no separation between mental health and physical health. It all goes hand in hand.
Yeah, important. Dr. Chalikani, what's your website for everybody?
We can be found at preferredbehavioral.org, and we're here to not only screen you for depression and anxiety and all of the things mental health related, but we are integrated and we treat the whole person.
Awesome. Dr. Tara Chalikani, CEO of Preferred Behavioral Healthcare. I've already proclaimed it. You're my favorite doctor on the show, period. Thank you for
Aww,
coming on this morning.
seeing
Be
you.
well.
Bye.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you. It is now 28 minutes past the hour. The phone lines are open, 888-658-0234. You're watching Mornings with Ken Rosato. Back in 2 minutes.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Very good morning. 30 minutes past the hour. Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. Wow, more than halfway through February. Loving it. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato, live on the East Coast and the West. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the forecast near you.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
All right, Mike, once again, we're seeing rain showers in Southern California right now in LA with 49 degrees, and I'm starting to see the accidents pile up. It's amazing how, even
Yeah.
at this early hour, 4:31 a.m. West Coast time, you already have accidents.
A lot of rain forecast out in Southern California. Our forecast points to lower visibility across New Jersey with some fog that's developing thanks to that warmer air. The clouds also promoting the lower visibility as well. And there's some rain on the way for this afternoon. Most of that moving across the Midwest right now. But this is the heavy rain that's entering the southern coast of California. And with that, the heavy snows in the mountains. That will take over for the next few days. So with up to 8 feet of snow there in the Sierras, that's a lot of snow coming in all at once. You see that flow continues off of the Pacific, allowing for that rain to keep on moving in. And even out in Milan, they're getting some rain beginning late tonight into tomorrow. So today you'll see blue sky for tonight's coverage, but by tomorrow, all the wet weather moves in, even about a foot of snow up in Cortina and some of the ski areas as the temperatures drop off quite substantially, as you've seen some of the snow even with yesterday's coverage. Back closer to home as the rain takes over for this afternoon. You see a little bit of wet weather moved across this morning, maybe a little patch of ice there across northern New Jersey, but mostly it's dry. It's all about the milder trend that keeps us wet, not white, for the rest of this week. But as we head into the weekend, there's that potential for a little bit of that snow to form just offshore. As you see here with the Futurecast, our next wet weather system moves on by, takes over, and gives us the rain through Friday. That's the system that moves on through. All of the snow should stay off to our north with the ice, and then cold enough to support some snow. It just depends on how close that system forms late Sunday going into Monday morning. We'll talk more about those details coming up with another check of your Futurecast across the country. That in the next few minutes.
And we are talking hockey this morning as the season enters a critical stretch and the playoff race begins to take shape. Joining us now is a special person who's won multiple medals with Team Canada at the IHF Women's World Championship and brings elite experience from the Professional Women's Hockey Players Association. She and her teammates are preparing to open this important stretch at home at the Prudential Center. We say to you, good morning, Jamie Bourbonnais.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, good to have you on. And after a pause in the schedule, what does preparation look like getting back into game mode? I mean, is it more about conditioning? Is it the systems or reconnecting as a group?
Yeah, I think this break has just been a lot about focusing on our team chemistry. We're lucky we actually have most of our team here during this break, so that's been nice for us to be able to just keep building our chemistry and keep working on a lot of our tactical stuff.
Exciting. Do you regain your game rhythm pretty quickly, or does it take a little while to kind of get back into it?
It'll probably take a second to get back into it, if I'm being honest, but I think our coaches have done a really good job of implementing a lot of game-like drills in this break. So we're kind of staying up to game speed a little bit, and we've had a lot of fun competitions, so healthy competitions. So I think we're going to be ready to go when the puck drops.
Because for you, you're a defender where timing and communication is just so important, right?
For sure. Yeah, of course. It's really important to have that chemistry and that communication with your teammates. And again, I think we've done a good job of building on that.
Now, at this point in the season, there is an awful lot of talk about urgency. So, what are the key details that the team is focusing on right now to set the tone for the final stretch?
Yeah, we're definitely in a good spot right now in the standings, but as you said, urgency is going to be important. There's still a lot of hockey to play, so I think that we're just continuing to build. We have a lot of momentum behind us right now. We've had a couple good games the last couple weeks, so just building on that and just sticking to what we're good at, speed and, like you said, communication, chemistry, all of that is going to help us moving forward.
Well, you are opening this run at home, and how important is it to start strong in front of your fans and build momentum early? I mean, being a home audience, if you will, that must make a big difference.
Definitely. We love playing at home. We love playing at the Prudential Center in front of our fans. It gives us a ton of momentum. Yeah, it's going to be huge for us to have a couple games at home. Like you said, get back in that game rhythm a little bit. and hopefully go from there and just take off in the second half.
You came to New Jersey a few years ago from Canada. Has that, I mean, obviously Canada and New Jersey are the same thing, right? Not quite, right? But I mean, I could say upstate New York, maybe Upper Michigan Peninsula, but New Jersey, it starts to get like mid-Atlantic. It's a little different. How has that adjustment been for you? And has it finally started to feel like home for you here in the Garden State?
Yeah, I've loved living here. It's been nice to have a little bit of stability over the last couple years. I've moved around a ton with hockey, so it's been awesome to be in New Jersey for the last 3 years. And the more that you get out in the community and you meet people, it just starts to feel so welcoming. And I feel so welcomed by New Jersey and by all the people here. So definitely feels like home, and it's somewhere that I'd love to continue playing.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing about being in New Jersey is we're surrounded by New York City and whoops, as I knock my microphone, we're surrounded by New York City and Philadelphia. So we have the big sports teams from both. And you have, depending on where you are in New Jersey, you tend to kind of, I'm more New York, I'm more Philadelphia. Or many of the fans in the middle say, to hell with all of you, I'm California or whatever. So that's the interesting thing. But being that the women's hockey league is a much smaller league versus some of the others, you really have a few teams to kind of latch onto and make your favorite. What surprised you most about playing and living here, both on and off the ice?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think one of the things that surprised me the most is the demand for women's sports in New Jersey. I've gotten to do a lot of events, even with some soccer fans, and it's been amazing to see how many people in New Jersey have been itching for a women's hockey team, a women's soccer team. And that's just incredible. Like we were talking about earlier, times have changed, and I think women's sports is at a huge demand right now. And in New Jersey specifically, you can really feel that pull and you can feel that passion. And I think that surprised me the most. Obviously, being from Canada, I didn't know what to expect. And women's sports is really big in Canada, but it's been awesome to see the love for women's sports here as well.
I think in the New York, New Jersey, tri-state area, you could start any sport at any time with anyone and you'll garner a big audience.
Totally.
People here
For sure.
love sports, right? I think it's the
Definitely.
stress, right, of being in the metro areas of New York and Philadelphia that when you want to unleash and just get away from that stress, you need sports. And I think that's why there's such rabid fans here. Was there a moment when it really shifted from being just where you play to feeling like home when you were in New Jersey, like maybe 6 months into it, did you finally say, this is me, this is my place?
I think when we started playing at the Prudential Center more regularly and that became our really home venue, I think that's when it really sunk in that this is where I wanted to be, and this felt like home to me. Again, our fans are so passionate and they love us so much. And I think that is what feels like home to me, is just feeling so welcomed and so celebrated here. And yeah, I would say that, being at the Pru every time I'm there, I'm like, this is home.
It's a great arena too. Do you ever look up and see faces that you've seen at other games and recognize them?
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Our fans are awesome. We have a pretty unique opportunity to get really close with fans and develop relationships with them. So there's definitely people that I've met over the years that I look up, recognize, maybe give a wave, throw a puck to. And I think that's a really special part about women's sports.
That must make it all the more, energizing for you. Like when you get out there, you're getting out there for Joan or for Frank as opposed to just for fans generically. And we'd love to get to know more about you too, both on and off the ice. So if I were one of your teammates, how would you describe yourself in 3 words?
Depends who you're asking, but I would say that people would probably say that I'm pretty goofy, maybe loyal and passionate, I think are the words I'd use.
I love that. Goofy, loyal, passionate. Very cool. And thinking locker room now, who is the loudest voice in the locker room?
I would have to go with Olivia Knowles. I think that might surprise people, but that girl's loud.
But that's important on the ice, right? You want
We love
somebody
it. We
who's
love it.
passionate. Absolutely.
We
You don't
love it.
want like a little wallflower. You want somebody passionate who give it their
Yeah.
all. Are you more of a pregame hype person, or do you tend to stay quiet and focused before the puck drop?
I am more of a pre-game hype person. I definitely like to have fun before games. I like to play spike ball, dance to music, sing a little. It's not great, but it's what I like to do.
But it gets you going, right? That pumps you up.
Gets me going. Yeah.
Very cool. Everybody has their own thing, right? Sometimes you want to be in
Yeah.
the zone, and sometimes that's what you need to go. And finally, what would you say is your favorite way to spend an off day here in New Jersey?
Mm.
Do you have a go-to food spot? Do you have a favorite pizza joint?
Good question. I love Top's Diner. That's somewhere that I like to go for
Hmm.
brunch on off days. And then I generally like to get together with teammates and play some board games. It might sound kind of lame, but we have a lot of girls on the team that like board games, Catan, Ticket to Ride, games like that. So we spend a lot of time playing those together.
Well, I mean, that's important for team building, right? For trust
Yeah.
and building relationships. That's so awesome. New York Sirens alternate captain, defender Jamie Bourbonnais, a championship caliber leader. We are honored to have you on. All the best to you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You bet. We taped that yesterday, hence the different outfit. She is just so nice. And I have to tell you, the various people we've had to interview, I say had to because they are very fine sponsors of the station. One nicer than the other. This is so cool. They are truly, this is what sports used to be, right? Where the team and the community was one. So they're major league professionals. And at the same time, it's still at a point where they are one with the community. A lot and these are major league hockey people, but it's a lot like minor league baseball still is, where you can meet the fans and talk to the fans and get to know them. And she is just amazing. Check out a New York Sirens game. Please, I promise you, if you go, you'll get hooked. They are 100% serious as a heart attack hockey and very, very action filled. You'll love it. So thank you very much, Ms. Bourbonnais, for that interview, and go Sirens. Well, it is coming up on 43 minutes past the hour. When we come back, somebody who will help this disgusting mess that is Ken Rosato's outfit. Fashion expert Don Del Russo talks about the business of fashion, because there is a business behind it. Meteorologist Mike Favetta returns with a full forecast. Lots of rain happening in Southern California, snow in the north too. And we'll take calls at 888-658-0234. You're watching Mornings with Ken Rosato live on the East Coast and the West. Don't go away. We're back in 2 minutes.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. 45 minutes past the hour. We will take your calls at 888-658-0234. 888-658-0234. I got a special for you. You know how much it'll cost you to dial that number? Nothing. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the forecast for your city.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
All right, Mike, on this Ash Wednesday, officially, what we have for Catholics, that means you have to fast and abstain. So
Hmm.
if you're an observant Catholic, no meat today of any kind, and you should only have two light meals. No, one meal and two snacks. That's the rule for fasting and abstinence. I used to be a priest, so it's all coming back to me now. Uh,
Does coffee
so
count with that? Because I don't know if I'd be standing up if it weren't for
You could have,
the morning
it's
coffee.
actually the
Okay.
11th commandment, thou shalt have all the coffee you can. That's the 11th commandment. People don't really. Pam, our director,
Yeah.
she's more evangelical Pentecostal, and she's like, you Catholics put that schmutz on your head. So, it's about ashes and sackcloth. Think about it, Pam. I'm sorry, forgive me, everybody. Think about it, Pam. We're like the Roman Church, right? The Roman Catholic Church. So we're guilt ridden. It's all about the Italian grandma. So it's like, put the ashes on the head. Feel
Mm,
bad about yourself.
mm.
That's Yeah, she says she'll give us a wet one. I love her. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir. Speaking of a wet one, we got a wet one in California and a little in New
It's
York too.
yeah, right. Both coasts dealing with the rain this morning. A little bit of light shower activity across northern New Jersey, and with that, some more rain setting up for this afternoon. So a wet day ahead. Even though tomorrow's dry, it's still cloudy, milder still. And then going into the weekend, especially by Sunday, you see the storm start to form just offshore. May give us some light snow. It's the west coast that has all of that rain for the next few days, but finally dries out by the end of the weekend. So I think going into early next week, get a chance to dry out. Even over in New Jersey, most of the East Coast stays quite clear as well. But look at the rain that's been falling down in Southern California, some heavy downpours, not only up the coast. You'd expect weather like this to happen along Northern California, but down in LA through San Diego, just wave after wave of rain that's been moving in, and that's prompting the mountains to pick up a lot of heavy snow. Well, that futurecast shows with the next rounds of wet weather that comes in, it lingers throughout this afternoon. You get another round into tomorrow morning with that front, and then a little bit of a break into the weekend, especially for Friday and Saturday, with some of the high pressure working in, taking over before more rain gets going for Saturday night. So it's just one system after the next as you typically enter the rainy part of the year. This is their rainy season, end of February, early March. Yeah, you can see why with those systems lined up one after the next. Out east, the clearing that takes over for tomorrow might give us a little break of sun by the afternoon, but plan more so on the dry weather throughout your Thursday afternoon. Then by Thursday night, tomorrow night, another round of rain comes in, and this sets up for a rather wet Friday. But Saturday should clear out nicely with the dry weather, and then by Sunday, looking at a system moving offshore, that's what could give us a little bit of snow. I think it's trending further out to sea, but it's still one to watch. Then all of the mild weather takes over into the next 2 weeks. There's a little bit of a dip in terms of temperatures by the end of next week, but overall long range looks to be a little wet across most of the country, especially California. Look at that going into the first few days of March. Very wet weather out west, Ken. So more rain where that's coming from.
There you go. And then what do they say about March? Comes in like a lion, goes out like a lamb. Is that true?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, most times it usually does, but weather is not climate, so it tends to be
It
fickle.
also depends on where you are in the country, right?
That too, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. All right, sir. Much appreciated. It is 35 degrees northern New Jersey, 33 in Trenton right now, 33 degrees also in Vineland. On the West Coast, 50 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. It seems the rain may have stopped just now in Los Angeles, 52. San Diego, no rain reported there. That's good news. In terms of traffic, issues at our airports. Let's talk about this first, Pam, to our director. I'm speaking. JFK has parking related issues. Their lots are of the 4 lots they have, they're either 99 or 100% full. So if you are driving to an airport, because this is a big travel week, a lot of people took the long weekend and they're using it to take a vacation or whatever, midwinter break or whatever, make sure you have a reserved parking spot. Otherwise, just Uber or cab it to the airport. Newark is now reporting, Newark Liberty, there's emergency construction right outside the airport, left lane closed on Route 1 there. So just give yourselves extra time getting there. That's going to be a mess. Now, we have a crash on Route 4 eastbound west of Webster Avenue, Farragut Drive, and Teaneck, the right lane of 2 lanes and the right shoulder are closed, and that's causing this backup that goes for about a mile and a half. We have a water main break on Route 202, both directions south of Route 24, Washington Street in Morris Township, all lanes closed, and delays now on 280 eastbound west of exit 12, Garden State Parkway in East Orange to exit 13, Orange Street, Newark. All lanes are open, just very heavy through there. We look at the Hudson River crossings. The Holland Tunnel right now is 25 minutes in. I'm sorry. Thank you for that, Pam. We have something on 21 as well. Let's do this. This is delays now on 21. This is going northbound from north of 78 to Pennington Street, Mulberry Street, Newark. All lanes are open. Then there's another issue, 21 southbound Riverside Avenue to 280 in Newark. Again, all lanes are open. This is all volume related that you're looking at on Route 21. Now we talk about the Lincoln and Holland. The Holland Tunnel is about 25 to 30 minutes in. Lincoln is 35 minutes in right now. It's building, and the GWB is actually your better bet or best bet of the three. Not bad at all. This is only 15 to 20 and upper on the right and lower on the left. Good way to get in. We go to the West Coast right now. And because of a little bit of rain, a lot of accidents, I could go on and on and on. In fact, just to show you, this is not that you could see that. This goes on. This is like the list of accidents from California Highway Patrol. Usually at 4:52 in the morning, there are only 1 or 2 incidents. Most days, they're about 30 or 40 right now. I'm not going to go through 40, obviously, but we have roadway flooding in central LA, and that is on the 10 at the Los Angeles Street on-ramp. And we have a car fire reported in Altadena on the I-5 at Verdugo Avenue. Also, we have more flooding, a lot of roadway flooding. Oh my gosh, like one after another. This one in Santa Fe Springs, Route 91 at Atlantic Avenue. And we have a wind advisory, Newhall at the 5 and Route 138. So just be aware, a lot of weather situations in Southern California to be aware of. Well, fashion today is about brands adapting to consumers, from department store shakeups to influencer-led labels. The retail landscape is undergoing a major transformation. And to talk about the business of fashion is retail expert Dawn Del Russo, founder of LiveTheGlamour.com. That's glamour with a U, O-U-R. She joins us every Wednesday this time. We say good morning, Dawn.
Good morning, Ken. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Talk about the biggest shifts that are redefining the future of retail right now, because there are really some shifts in the industry.
Oh, yeah. It's changing a lot, and I thought it would be good to talk about it, since a few weeks ago we did talk about Saks and how they were going into a somewhat bankruptcy. And Bloomingdale's is jumping on that, and they're sort of secretly taking some of the employees and feel like they're the next ones to rise in the luxury space. They've always had some luxury brands, and I think they're jumping on this opportunity to become more of a high-end luxury department store, because there's really not too many out there that are doing this. So Bloomingdale's tagged onto that a little bit, which is interesting to see, and that some employers are even moving over to them.
I'm amazed that Saks and Bergdorf are both struggling. And what's that about? Is it just that is it through the pandemic when people were watching their pennies, or what do you think brought us to that?
Yeah, I think economically they made some bad moves and, overextended themselves. Some of the things that you typically see brands do, now you wouldn't expect that from them. You feel like they sort of know what to do with their money and how to bring in brands and know how to do that, but they didn't. They fell short of that. I don't think they're going to be gone. I think they're going to still stay around. I think they're just going to rearrange their funding and somewhat come back in a bigger and better way. But Bloomingdale's is saying, why not? Why not move into that luxury space and that high-end space a little bit? And then Hermes, I think, is a good one to talk about, because in the last quarter, they did better than most luxury department stores and brands did. They're leading the industry with their resilience. They've always been known for scarcity. So you're going in there and they control their inventory. If you know anything about how they handle it, you really can't just go in and buy a handbag from Hermes. You have to be on a list. They have to select you and choose you to buy their bag, which is pretty interesting, a very interesting tactic, but it has worked, and it's created a brand that has a lot of good brand equity.
How is that not discriminatory. I mean, I'm sure someday someone's going to have a lawsuit and say, I'm black, I'm Hispanic, I'm white, I'm green, and you didn't pick me because. I'm kind of shocked that that hasn't happened yet.
It's so interesting, and there's so much talk about it, especially on social media. I mean, people are going in, and it's not only just about being on a list. They have expectations for what they want you to buy. So you have to have gone in and bought, a pair of shoes, some accessories, a scarf, maybe a smaller handbag style. They want to see your buying history. You have to work with the same sales associate in order to get to the level of buying that $30,000 or $40,000 handbag.
How does one get to be a sales associate there? Because it sounds like that's a built-in, like, really good job.
I know, and you're like somewhat like a bouncer controlling inventory. I mean, it takes a lot. Any of these luxury stores, Chanel, Gucci, that you work for, you can't just go in there and apply for a job. You have to really work your way up in the company to get to that position, and they are very elevated positions for brands like Hermes.
I would walk in chewing gum going, listen, I need a job with yous over here. I could do
Yeah,
good. I could do good, really.
they
We're
would love
also
it.
seeing, yeah, of course, I'll fit right in. We're also seeing lifestyle brands expand beyond their original niche. Alo Yoga started as athleisure. It's now positioning itself as a full wellness brand. Talk about that. They're going to have a store in the Champs-Élysées in Paris.
Yes, which is such a big move, especially for someone like that. I mean, we're known in America for being very leisurely styled. And so when you think of France, a company like a wellness brand like Aloe going over there and opening up a store like that, it seems like, well, how are they going to do that? And they again are also trying to move into that wellness, higher end luxury space, not luxury in the sense of Hermes, but where their brand is not just known for, going to the gym, but there are clothes that you can wear outside of the gym, and a little bit more elevated. So they're creating this look and this feeling of luxury and wellness and taking care of yourself. And that's why I think they're making moves like that. They've opened a lot of stores over the past 6 months to a year, which is very
I
interesting.
love it. Very
Yeah.
elegant. Dawn, what's a website for people to check you out for more information?
Sure. Livetheglamour.com is my site. All this information will be on there. I always post about it. So if you want to check it out and hear the latest news, it'll be there.
And it's glamour, as you can see, the proper way with an O-U-R. It's so formal. I love it. All right. Retail expert Don Del Russo, founder of livetheglamour.com. Always, thank you so much for coming on this morning.
Thank you, Ken. Have a good one.
You too. 58 minutes past the hour for those watching on LACA on the West Coast. Stay tuned for your local news. If you're watching on New Jersey, we'll be right back live with New Jersey news, opinion, weather, and traffic. Thanks for watching Mornings with Ken Rosato.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Morning, it's 8 a.m., Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. Welcome to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the Garden State forecast.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
All right, on this Ash Wednesday, we're looking at some damp conditions. The ashes are going to go right down the face.
Yeah, foggy too, Ken, with that low visibility across New Jersey. Had some dense fog overnight, and still that remains this morning as temperatures are mild, but that's the mild air rolling over the fresh snowpack, allowing for that fog to develop. Most of the breezes out of the southeast, promoting for some warmer winds, and of course, extra moisture coming in off of the water. It's about the same temperature as it was yesterday, give or take 2 degrees, but it's overall a very cloudy start to the day. Had a few showers roll through portions of northern New Jersey overnight. Now, some of that rain getting going, even north and west of 287. You see that shade of pink right about there as it moves on in. That is some icing that's occurring with some freezing rain. So be on the lookout for that today. But overall, it's a wet day. If you plan to head out any of the Audio Nova Clinic locations, temperatures rise into the low 40s, maybe even some mid 40s down the shore. Could be pushing 50 there in Toms River, and we'd be in the 50s had there be more sun, but again, it's primarily a gray and cloudy day today. Through this afternoon, clouds hang low. With that, some more wet weather in our offing for tonight. Tomorrow is relatively dry. Get a little bit of a northeasterly breeze, maybe clear out by the end of the day, but it's a lot cooler. And then for Friday, more rain comes in, especially through the afternoon into the evening. Saturday is going to be a dry start, but Sunday, keeping an eye on the system that may develop offshore. It's really Sunday afternoon into Sunday night. We'll see if that pans out. But overall, a wetter, milder finish to the week as we wait for some sunshine to return by Saturday. We've got more details coming up on the full weekend weather, Ken. That's in a few minutes.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. It is 36 degrees northern New Jersey right now, 33 degrees in Trenton, 34 degrees in Cape May, and 31 degrees in Vineland. All at that freezing mark or above. We like that. In terms of traffic now, we have a mess on the Garden State Parkway. Check this out. There's a crash on the Garden State westbound. I don't know why it's west. I guess at that point it goes kind of west. Normally it's north-south. Westbound at exit 156, it says. Route 46. All right, now it's moving a little bit. This is about 3 miles from the actual accident point. But just beyond this point, by Route 46 in Clifton, which is exit 156, 2 lanes of the 3 lanes closed. So the fact that we're looking at about exit 151, 152. So the fact that this is 4 miles away and you're already getting a slowdown tells me this is a big delay. So as you make your way north on the Garden State Parkway, they're saying west. I guess that's the way the Garden State curves through there. Just watch out. 2 of the left lanes of the 3 lanes closed at exit 156, Route 46 in Clifton. Beware of that. Anyone heading to any of the major airports right now? Many of the parking lots are full. This was a big travel week. So if you are headed to an airport and you're driving yourself, make sure you pre-reserve a parking space, or else you're going to get there, not find a space, miss your flight. Don't want to do that. Otherwise, take an Uber, Lyft, or taxi. That's the other good route to do. There are some emergency construction going on right outside Newark Liberty. So that's causing delays for people trying to get into the airport right now. And on Route 4, we have a crash. And this is eastbound west of Webster Avenue. Farragut Drive in Teaneck, right lane and right shoulder are closed, and a water main break on 202 both directions south of Route 24, Washington Street and Morris. All lanes are closed there. The Hudson River crossings right now, the Holland Tunnel still has a delay. 25 to 30 minutes is a lot for the Holland, especially this hour. Making your way across, it's in one of the 2 tubes, and that's causing little residual delay. Lincoln Tunnel is 35 minutes, and GWB is the best bet. Upper and lower levels actually moving very well. It's going to cost you about 20 to 25, and you can see the upper level on the right, lower on the left. 8:05 is our time, and yesterday was the first weekday of the closure of NJ Transit's Portal Bridge, and severely reduced rail service brought heavy crowds and confusion as riders rerouted through Hoboken. Schedule changes are tied to the project, shifting trains onto the new Portal Bridge north. It's going to take a month of testing and everything else. I had to reroute the tracks over. 4 trains were canceled. Some delays reached up to 50 minutes, partly due to crew rescheduling. Many commuters said conditions were better than expected, though. It was good organization and good notification, though still crowded and unfamiliar. It's going to take some time. It's only temporary, and this schedule is impacting 178 trains. It runs through March 15th as NJ Transit completes the transition. But once it's done, you won't have many of the problems that you have had with NJ Transit in the morning through the Portal Bridge area. Many times it was stuck, etc. That will be a thing of the past. A small school bus caught fire in Cherry Hill Monday afternoon. It happened on Route 70 near Cuthbert Boulevard. Only the driver was on board at the time. Nobody was hurt. Firefighters were quickly able to put out the fire and towed away the destroyed vehicle. Officials are looking into what caused the fire. Federal officials say ICE will play a key role in security operations during the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Lawmakers said they were concerned that enforcement actions could discourage international visitors from attending. As long as you're here legally, you have nothing to worry about. You come here with a visa and your passport, and you're here legally, and you're not here illegally, and you're not overstaying your visa, you're fine. Okay. And if an ICE agent asks you, you show them your ID. You say, yeah, I have a visa. I'm here legally. What's the problem? That's it. Simple as that. The tournament is expected to draw millions of fans from around the world. Travel bans and visa pauses have been issued against certain nations. MetLife Stadium will host 8 matches, including the championship, meaning security here will be extra tight. A 21-year-old hiker from Brick died of hypothermia on a New York State mountaintop. Investigators say Brianna Moore slipped off a trail while hiking with her dog on Mount Marcy. That's the tallest mountain in New York State, by the way. She called 911 when she became stranded near the mountain summit. Unfortunately, the weather would not cooperate, slowing the rescue operation. Rangers found her later that night. She had passed away. Her dog did survive. Sadly, though, she died. Mount Marcy is again New York's highest peak at 5,341 feet. Trailblazing dancer and actress, Newark native Jennifer Jones, will be honored for her historic career. We've had Jones on this very broadcast. Jones helped end a policy that excluded Black dancers from becoming Radio City Music Hall Rockettes. Bet you didn't know that that was a thing. Jones was also the first Black winner of the Miss Morris County pageant. It was 1989. That's how late it was before we had a Black winner of Miss Morris County. She won a Tony Award for her role in the musical 42nd Street. She is an author, multiple books, in fact. She even created an inspirational doll line. Very cool lady. We loved having her on this broadcast. Jones will be recognized tomorrow, and rightfully so, at the Hollywood Museum in LA's beautiful Max Factor building. Congratulations, Jennifer Jones. It is coming up on 8:09, and 2 years after promising not to create a state income tax so they could get elected, Democrat state lawmakers in the state of Washington are now moving to create just that, a state income tax. Of course, they are specifically looking to tax anyone earning $1 million or more a year with a 10% tax. 10% tax. Can you imagine? So that would mean if you are earning $1 million, you have to pay $100,000 extra in taxes if you want to call the state of Washington your home. Is it really worth it? Move to Idaho next door and you save $100,000. And for that money, you could buy an estate home. Liberals are really not that bright. They think that in this era of computers, where you could move anywhere and take your business with you on a computer or on a laptop, you don't need to live in a state like that that's going to literally steal $100,000 or more from you. Now, before you develop class envy and say, hey, Ken, they're making $1 million a year, they could afford it. Remember, the majority of people who are super wealthy do not make their money via a salary. They make their money through capital gains, like buying and selling huge amounts of stock or real estate. And those people do not pay state and federal income taxes because capital gains are different. You pay capital gains taxes, which are 15%. So you don't pay any state capital gains tax and you pay a 15% federal capital gains tax. So instead of, what's your choice? Paying 46 to 50% tax or paying 15% tax? Do the math. All right. So if you're in Washington now, you're going to have to pay the near 50% tax. Otherwise, you move next door to Idaho and you only pay 15%. It's unbelievable. If enacted, this tax would take effect in 2028. This is the problem in New York and New Jersey. You keep taxing the rich, saying they need to pay their fair share. They're paying all of it. People, the lower 50% of taxpayers, or I should say the lower 50% of income earners, pay zero in taxes. They usually get money back. So don't make it sound like we're all getting raped by these evil wealthy people. They're the ones paying almost all of the. In fact, the upper 3% pay like the top 30 or 40% of all taxes. That's the top 3% of income earners. So the whole class envy thing that the Democrats keep pushing is disgusting. It's at the very least a lie. So stop it. And you're just going to keep losing wealthy people to other states or other countries. Keep doing it, Democrats. New York's tax base, New Jersey's tax base down because the billionaires have all said, bye-bye, don't need you. Adios. Newark Mayor Ross Baraka announced the launch of Love Your Block Newark 2026, a neighborhood improvement program. It began this past weekend. The way it works, Newark community groups apply for up to $5,000 in reimbursement grants plus technical support to beautify their block. Projects must be volunteer-led, Newark-based, and focused on neighborhood revitalization. Applications will be accepted through the end of March, with priority given to first-time applicants, younger people, and neighborhood or tenant associations. And you got to check this out. Turkey terror for a UPS delivery man in Connecticut. The winged weirdos hung around the complex there all day that he delivered to, just waiting for the opportunity to score a tasty brown suit-clad driver. It seems wild turkeys start getting wild as spring approaches and they begin to search for a mate. They think that this guy is trying to interfere with that. So look at this. They're like, hey, dude, come on out. Yeah, we'll show you. Give me that friggin' package or I'll show you. Look at this. They're chasing the guy. It's crazy. All right, coming up at 8:13, when we come back, Jersey City Medical Center is entering a new chapter in leadership. Steady light rain this morning, showers this afternoon, highs in the low to mid 40s. Meteorologist Mike Favetta returns with your full Garden State forecast, and we'll take your calls at 888-658-0234, 888-658-0234. You're watching Out of Jersey Mornings, back in 2.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 8:15, taking your calls at 888-658-0234. Steady light rain this morning and showers this afternoon. Highs in the low to mid 40s, or low 40s actually. Right to meteorologist Mike Favetta with the Garden State forecast.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
Mike, on this first day of Lent, Ash Wednesday, we're looking at temps in the 30s right now, but it's only going to get to about the low 40s, damp, kind of chilly.
Damn chilly and foggy too. So the gray sky from yesterday, now you have the lower visibility, with visibility down around 0 across many locations. There toward Trenton, where you have that fog moving in with the poor visibility there from Long Branch and Toms River. A lot of that due to an easterly breeze coming off of the water and the humid air moving over a cold snowpack. That's typically what creates the fog. On top of that, a little bit of light rain developing right now across New Jersey. So that, in the last few frames here, after 8 a.m. Some of the mixing shown in pink north and west of 287. So it's a gray, it's a wet day, on and off showers with temperatures holding in the 40s. Typical, more like of late winter into early spring. So that's seasonal, starting off the end of February with a little bit of a milder feel. We tap into a westerly breeze throughout the early morning on Saturday, bringing back some cooler conditions. And then by Sunday, there's enough of a north wind to allow for some cold air to spill back into the picture. Will it be enough to support some snow? Yes, the trouble is the snow may form too far out to sea to impact us by Sunday afternoon. So again, the picture showing a little bit of that wet weather moving in. Most of the clouds today last into tomorrow. I think we'll be hard pressed to find some sunshine back in the forecast until the weekend. Even though the rain lets up for tomorrow, we briefly get some sun tomorrow afternoon, but it's right back to clouds and showers for Friday rather. So keep the umbrellas close at hand for the end of the week. By Friday night, we see things clear out. Saturday looks pretty decent. Back to some milder conditions with the sunshine, and then colder by Sunday with that northerly breeze. And most of the newest computer model information has the whole system just forming too far out to sea late Sunday night into early Monday morning to really impact most of New Jersey. Yes, we could get a few flakes in the forecast come early Monday morning, but again, look at the energy, how far out to sea it is, and it just pulls away as it intensifies by Monday afternoon. So we're left with the cold, left with some cloudy conditions, and then chilly weather sets up for most of next week. Beyond that, it's a pretty cold start to next week with temperatures down in the 30s to start off Sunday, and then by Monday and Tuesday, it gets chilly. But I think that's it for the worst of the cold. We'll talk more about that and time it out with the 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Mike, thank you very much, sir. It is 33 degrees northern New Jersey, 33 in Trenton as well. Just damp and foggy throughout the state. Give yourselves extra travel time. We have a lot of accidents now starting to pop up. Again, the damp and foggy conditions causing that. Let's go over to Route 22 eastbound by Mountain Avenue in Bridgewater. Left lane of 2 lanes closed due to a crash with injuries. You can see we have emergency crews on the scene. Again, this is in Bridgewater Township, Route 22 eastbound, Route 643. It's also known as Mountain Avenue in Bridgewater Township. You could see a crash with injuries, so that means that's going to be there for a while. Left lane of 2 lanes closed, causing quite the backup right now on Route 22. For anyone heading to any of the area airports, many of the parking lots are at capacity because this is a big travel week. A lot of people took advantage of MLK Day, President's Day, I should say, MLK last week. They took advantage of President's Day holiday this week. So a lot of people are on vacation and they filled up those parking lots. If you're driving to JFK LaGuardia, make sure you have a reserved parking space. And right now, if you are driving to Newark Airport, there is an accident blocking a lane as you enter the airport. Perfect place for it. So that's causing a big backup on US 1. Make sure you give yourselves extra travel time for that. We have a crash on the Garden State Parkway now, westbound at exit 156, which is by Route 46 in Clifton. This is 4 miles away from there. And look at the backup already. So for 4 miles, we have a backup. Earlier, this hadn't yet started to build up. I knew that was going to happen because that's a very highly used exit. So again, Garden State Parkway crash. westbound, they call it westbound there because it doesn't quite go north-south in that area. Exit 156, Route 46 in Clifton. 2 left lanes of 3 lanes closed, causing about a 4-mile backup right now. Other problems we have, we talked about some problems on Route 4. There's a crash, Route 4 eastbound west of Webster Avenue in Teaneck. Right lane and right shoulder are blocked, and a water main break right now on 202 both directions south of Washington Street in Morris Township. All lanes are closed. We have delays at the Holland Tunnel right now, 20 to 25 minutes in from New Jersey. That's all due to volume, no crash or anything. And then at the Lincoln Tunnel, it's 30 minutes into Manhattan. The GWB upper and lower, actually pretty good. Upper and lower levels are moving beautifully right now, only about 15 to 20 in. Just a lot of fog in the area to keep an eye out for, and go a little slower if you can. 8:20 is our time. Jersey City Medical Center is entering a new chapter in leadership. The hospital has named Jonathan P. Kirikou as its new president and CEO, and we welcome him this morning. Good morning and congratulations, Jonathan.
Good morning, Ken. Thanks for having me, and thanks for the kind words.
Good to have you on. You bet. And you stepped into this role just a month ago, right? So does the position still have that new president smell?
Oh, it does. Honestly, people are so proud here, and everybody's been so kind to me from within the hospital, from our community, and it's been really, really a warm welcome.
It's a beautiful hospital in a fantastic city. All the best to you there. So what plans do you have moving forward for Jersey City Medical Center?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of really, really good stuff that happens here, and we have a lot of stuff we can do. And, my first priority here is really to listen to our workforce. Spending time with our frontline workers is going to be important to me, our physicians, our community folks, understanding what really, really works well here, but what we can also improve on, right? At the same time, though, I really want to remain focused on things that are really critical to our mission, patients, quality outcomes, operational stability, and things like that.
Yeah, I talked to a friend of mine who was an administrator at another regional hospital, a very good friend of mine, and he was telling me how the pandemic kind of wore a lot of people down. A lot of the hospitals invested in infrastructure right at the end of the pandemic, and now those people are kind of burned out. And so the next generation is coming. So you're coming in now at that point. Did Jersey City Medical Center undergo some of that kind of revamping, rebuilding post-pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, if you watched a lot of the news during the pandemic, 5 years ago at this point, a lot of the talk was about Hudson County being the epicenter for the entire world at one point, right? And at the time I worked in New York, and the same model, right? So people definitely worked, as much as they could. But with that said, is people got burnt out, right? People who were thinking about retiring, retired. People who were thinking about, moving, moved. People who were thinking about a career change, made a change. So it brought a lot of extra challenges to an already challenging time.
Now, I know the healthcare professionals are still greatly in need, right? Are we still looking at a shortage of nurses at this point?
Yeah, we're in a much better place than we were 5 years ago, post-pandemic. But workforce shortages are going to be a thing in perpetuity here, right? The need for healthcare in this county and the state and the country, continues to go up, especially as our population ages. And the amount of people coming into educational programs just doesn't meet the need. So it'll be a conversation, into the future for sure.
And Jersey City itself is one of the most diverse cities in the entire country. People from everywhere on the planet come to Jersey City. In fact, many people, we've had many on this very broadcast, many people who move to Jersey City, that's their first place, not only coming into New Jersey, but coming into America. And they often settle in Jersey City first and live there a few years, get established, and then they move into suburbia after that. Do you see that a lot in terms of the patients who are coming into Jersey City Medical Center?
Yeah, I mean, Ken, you're exactly right. Jersey City is one of the most diverse places in the entire world. And what that means for us is that we have a wide array of patients here from all diverse communities, all spectrums of the world even, right? And I think what that means to me as a new leader here is that it's important for me to make sure that our workforce represents who we serve. And I think that's really important for people to feel like we're a cornerstone of the community, right? One of the most impressive things I've heard here at my short time, 40% of our workforce comes from the Jersey City community. And when you wide it out a little bit, that number jumps to more than 50% when you talk about Hudson County. So, we do a really, really good job here of making sure that the people we serve are being served by people who can understand where they're coming from.
That's awesome. And it's, as I said, I've been there, unfortunately, not for the best reasons, but you were there to help me out, thank God, once many years ago, and it's a great place, really great staff. What are the challenges that you see overall for hospitals today with healthcare the way it is? And do you think that the industry really needs a revamp?
Yeah, I mean, healthcare in 2026 is facing real unprecedented challenges. There's federal looming cuts out there, and inflation is higher than it's been in a long time, and those are really things that all hospitals, not just Jersey City, are facing. At the same time, hospitals are really being asked to do more than they did before while navigating changes in things like reimbursement cuts and changes in technology and things like that. The challenge for us and for everybody, but also the opportunity for us and for everybody, is to really remain disciplined financially while never really losing sight of what our mission is. And our mission really is to provide safe, quality care to everybody who walks through our doors.
How important is it to sit down as the leader and before making major long-term plans to listen to the heads of all those departments and the day-to-day workers who deal with patients coming in every single day in emergency cases and even planned cases? How important is it as a leader to make sure you listen to what they have as experiences before you move forward?
Yeah, and my number one priority here is to listen. And our frontline workers here are literally the heart of this organization, and that's true for every hospital out there, right? And supporting them starts with listening. Hearing what they need, hearing what they want, hearing the things that they need to do their job successfully, showing them respect for the work they do. Like you said, Ken, they provide care to anybody and everybody at any time. Ensuring they have the resources, ensuring they have the tools, the leadership support. We spent a lot of time here on the overnights in the last couple of weeks since I've been here, trying to understand the things that differ from the daytime than the nighttime, right? And we learned a lot about the things that happen here at 11 p.m., 1 a.m., 3 a.m., and they're not necessarily the same as they are at 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. in the afternoon. So, we're committed here to fostering a real culture of making sure our staff feel valued, make sure they feel heard, make sure they feel empowered, because, safety and the well-being of our staff really is critical to what our mission is here.
Good deal. Jersey City Medical Center's new president and CEO, Jonathan P. Kirikou. Thank you for coming on this morning. All the best to you in the new position. All the best to Jersey City Medical Center.
Thanks for having me, Ken. Good morning.
You bet. You too. It is now 34 degrees, 828. When we come back, the phone lines are open. We'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. 888-658-0234. Meteorologist Mike Favetta says steady light rain this morning, showers in the afternoon, highs low 40s, and the full Garden State forecast in a moment. You're watching on New Jersey Morning, seen daily at ONNJ.com, Roku, Fire TV, News on Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, YouTube, Facebook, X, and now stream live on Substack, Rumble, Twitch, and Local Now. Coming right back.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, February 18th, 2026, 35 degrees right now, northern New Jersey at 8:30. I'm Ken Rosato. Welcome back to On New Jersey Morning. Steady light rain this morning and showers this afternoon. Highs low 40s. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the detailed Garden State forecast.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
All right, lay it on us, buddy. We're going to have damp, fog, rain, schmutz. Go for it.
The fog is laying on really thick right now across most of central New Jersey, reducing visibility to near zero in spots. It's also quite cloudy across most of the state, with a little bit of light rain developing north and west of 287. So with that wet weather around today, predominantly for the northern half of the state, southern New Jersey could actually tap into a break of sun, warming you up to 48 degrees down toward Cape May, but overall a still gray looking morning, even though this afternoon turns a little bit brighter. If you've noticed the sun rising earlier day by day, for 6:46, our sunrise time, sunset now after 5:30. So with all of this light rain across northern New Jersey right now, some of it reaching the coast, it doesn't last for too long. It'll be scattered on and off throughout this afternoon, intermittent, and then we clear things out, at least try to by tomorrow. Dry weather prevails on Thursday, but it will predominantly be cloudy for most of the day. Maybe carve out some sunshine there by the afternoon before more rain takes over tomorrow night with our next warm front, followed by some dry weather again for Saturday. I think Sunday is one to watch, as that's the system that tries to form offshore. It does, but depending on how close it forms to shore will depend on how much snow, if we get any, by Sunday afternoon. So for now, plan on the rain and at least clouds for the rest of the week. Rain again tomorrow, and then on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, dry to start the weekend, but could have some late flakes in the forecast Sunday night into Monday, and then colder by next week. We're back in the 20s, Ken, this time next week. So yeah, it's chilly once more to wrap up the month of February, and then I think temperatures really start to climb going into the first week of March. We'll tell you more about that part of the forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Loving it. All right. March is always like home stretch, right? We get into
Yeah,
spring.
that's
We
it.
look ahead to milder temperatures, no more snow. Bye-bye winter 2025, 26. Done with you. Out. Thank you, sir. We'll check back with you. We have a temp of 38 degrees northern New Jersey. It's 33 degrees in Trenton right now, 34 degrees Cape May, 31 degrees still in Vineland. A little chilly there. We have some traffic to talk about. A disabled vehicle down the Garden State Parkway northbound. This is new, Pam. Don't get shocked by this. I'm just throwing this at Pam now. It just popped up. This is Garden State Parkway northbound south of exit 149, Route 506 Bloomfield. That's right near the tolls. So the right lane is blocked through there. We'll try to get you a camera shot on that in just a little bit. We have a crash with injuries, Route 22 eastbound, Mountain Avenue, Bridgewater Township. All lanes are closed. You could see, or maybe they're trying to get you behind a shoulder, but you could see the emergency vehicles are trying to take care of that because there's an injury that's going to be there for a while. We also have issues at our area airports. If you are driving to LaGuardia or JFK, their parking lots are 99 to 100% full. Make sure you reserve a parking space. Newark Airport has a problem with the left lane by the entrance at US 1. There's an accident, so that's going to delay you getting in. Another issue at the Garden State Parkway, we have a separate from what you just saw. There's a crash. Garden State Parkway westbound at exit 156, Route 46 Clifton. 2 left lanes closed there. Route 4, we have a crash eastbound west of Webster Avenue, Teaneck, with the right lane closed and the right shoulder as well, causing the slowdown you see right there toward the right side of your screen. Your Hudson River crossings, Holland Tunnel right now is still 25 to 30 in. There's an issue apparently in one of the tubes. They're not saying what it is. Lincoln Tunnel is going to cost you about 30 to 35. GWB upper and lower, we're told now there is an issue. We're not seeing it yet here it hasn't built up yet, but there's a disabled vehicle, GWB upper level, and that is blocking the right lane. So in about 10 minutes, you're going to start to see that build up, I would think. So just be aware of that. 8:34 is our time with the FIFA World Cup 2026 coming to North America. Millions of fans are expected to travel here. That will create a major surge in tourism. In our region, we'll be hosting matches at MetLife Stadium. So tens of thousands of rooms will be needed. Note that I said rooms, not hotel rooms, but rooms. Airbnb says this could translate into some income opportunities for residents. Matt McNamara is communications lead at Airbnb and joins us this morning to talk about it. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
Nice to have you. So for people who may have never rent it out with Airbnb. This is an opportunity to make a few dollars and at the same time really help the region out because people are going to be descending on the New York tri-state.
Yeah, this is huge. We're only 4 months away from the World Cup coming to North America and to New Jersey. And I think what we're seeing now is a huge surge in searches on Airbnb as a result of that. Searches are up 80% in host cities across all of North America. And that's a big moment. There was actually a report by Deloitte, and they found that hosts could earn about, on average, $3,000 by hosting on Airbnb. Actually, in New Jersey, it's way higher. It's 5,700. That can make a big difference in the lives of people. So if you're looking to, pay off your mortgage or pay down debt or take, that much needed vacation, this is a good way to do that.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Listen, I have a second home in Florida. I may just go down there and let people have this place for a while, make a couple of bucks. How far beyond the stadium areas will this economic impact spread? Are we talking like 10 miles out, 20 miles out, or does it just all depend on how booked everything gets closer to the stadium?
Well, one of the benefits of Airbnb is that the benefits do stretch far and wide. And I think when it comes to something like FIFA, we're going to see a big impact across the board. When we look at like the total impact of this, it's going to be $288 million in economic impact for all of New Jersey. That's a big moment. And I think that's going to have a trickle down effect to not just hosts, but to small businesses in the community.
And you talked about Deloitte now projecting millions of fans traveling for the tournament. What kind of demand, when people hear that, does that cause a stimulus right now? Does that make people like today, will they start looking because now they hear that number?
Yeah, they do. And we find that often people do host for the first time during big events like this because they do see that influx in tourism. So one thing that we're doing to help meet that demand is we're going to be offering $750 to sign up as a new host on Airbnb. And this is our largest host incentive program that we've ever done. And it's available to new hosts in New Jersey as long as they're hosting for the first time and renting their entire home. And they can do this anytime. So they rent as of today all the way up to the end of July. They'll be able to take advantage of this.
This is crazy. So you're talking $750 bonus basically, and the average price or the median going price now 5,700 in New Jersey. Some serious cash.
It's a big thing. And, when you think about how cost of living has gone up and mortgages have gone up, this is a good way to cover that. And capitalizing on something like FIFA is going to have a huge economic moment for these residents who do decide to host. And they can certainly do so and take advantage of this right now.
Yeah. I have used Airbnb probably more than a dozen times. I was remodeling a condo in South Florida, and every time I'd fly back and forth, I'd stay at an Airbnb near the condo, and I had the greatest experiences. I didn't have one negative at all. In fact, there was one host we went back to several times, and we became friendly with the host. And anytime I see they needed a light bulb change or whatever, I would let them know. I'll change the light bulb. I'll get you. We became that friendly because we use them so often. It's great. My experiences were good. Most people's experiences are good. For people who might be stressed out about opening their homes, there are some certain basic rules, right? You don't leave, your safe open for, if someone are going to come. You lock a certain closet where you keep your personal stuff and you have a sign up, please, this is a private closet, right? So what are things for people who've never rented out as an Airbnb host? What are certain things that they just need to know?
Yeah, so we have a lot of resources available for new hosts. I think the first thing you want to do is visit our resource center. That's going to have a lot of tips and tricks for how to set up your listing and help enticing those guests. But one thing that I think is really important is we have what's called the co-host network. Now, these are co-hosts who are experienced hosting on Airbnb, and you can tap into that community so they can help you set up your listing. They can set your pricing for you. They can give you some guidance for your calendar so that you're set up for success. And one thing that actually is really important is there's host clubs. So there's a host club in New Jersey that you can join online, where you can tap into existing hosts so you can meet the community and get some tips and tricks from them on how to host successfully.
I love it. That's great advice, and I'm sure they'll tell you the good and the bad and what to look out for. But the thing is, you're getting somebody's credit card and you're getting paid in advance, so it's not just for any prospective host. because we contemplated it too. Unfortunately, the place we ended up buying in
Yeah.
South Florida does not permit rentals of any kind, so we can't rent out. Otherwise, we'd be doing it right now. It's fantastic. And by the way, it's just for the future for those not coming for the for FIFA World Cup. South Florida has some of the greatest Airbnbs, phenomenal Airbnb. So what we did was to explore neighborhoods outside of where we lived. We rented Airbnbs. We always said, what would it be like to live in Coconut Grove? What would it be like to live in Palm Beach Island? And that was our chance to feel what it was like to live in those neighborhoods. It's great for that. That's an aside I wanted to share just from my personal experience with Airbnb. Great, great deal. Um, so how can people get more information? Now, once again, do they just go to the Airbnb website or is there a separate website you have for those first timers?
Yeah, so they can visit airbnb.com/new-host-FIFA, and that'll give you everything you need to do in order to set up your listing for FIFA.
And by the way, is this something people can just do temporarily or once they sign up, they're in?
Yeah, it's a great question. So they can do this temporarily. Sometimes we find that big events is the entryway into hosting for the first time. So if you're looking to host, you can do that as of today, all the way up to the other tournament, or you can keep going. If you find that you really enjoy it and you want to get that extra income, you want to meet guests from all over the world, keep hosting, keep getting that income, keep welcoming people from around the world and helping them experience New Jersey, just like you did with South Florida and experience it like a local.
It's fantastic. It's great. I may even just when this is all said and done, I'm thinking about renting like a high-rise Airbnb in Jersey City or something with a view of Manhattan. I'm sure lots of those exist, just to see what it's like. It'd be kind of fun to see how the other half lives there, and that's something you could do with Airbnb. Something years ago we couldn't do, and it's just fantastic. Well, I appreciate you coming on, communications lead at Airbnb, Matt McNamara. Thank you for joining us this morning. As we get closer, we'd love to have you back. Let us know how things are going.
Sounds good. It'd be great to be back.
Okay. Have a good one, Matt. It is now 37 degrees, 8:43. When we come back, mental health continues to be one of the most pressing issues facing New Jersey families. We're going to talk about that. Steady light rain this morning, showers this afternoon, highs in the low 40s. Meteorologist Mike Favetta returns with a full Garden State forecast. Lots of fog around. And we'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. 888-658-0234. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings. Back in 2 minutes. Don't go away.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 8:45, taking your calls at 888-658-0234. Some showers throughout the morning and afternoon. Fog this morning, too. Highs in the low 40s. Straight to meteorologist Mike Favetta with the Garden State forecast near you.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
All right, so we're looking at fog a lot as we look at our traffic
Yep.
cams, Mike. We're seeing seeing it all over the place.
So some of this fog lingers through this afternoon, Ken, especially as the rain starts to come down. It's going to be a wet and gray day with low visibility, but good news is that beyond the cold that returns briefly next week, there is a warmer trend in our offing, and that takes us through the first few days in March, specifically with the heat centered across the middle of the country, but it extends into New Jersey as today's highs will climb back into the mid-40s with that light rain around, and of course the low cloud, the fog cover. It's going to be a very gray and damp day. However, brighter days ahead. Specifically tomorrow afternoon could see a peak of sun after a cloudy start, even though it's dry. Friday, back to the rain, and Saturday turns dry yet again, 47 as the high. But even though it turns colder on Sunday, could see some snow showers just off to our south and east as a storm forms out to sea. May throw back a few flurries our way into Monday, but right now it doesn't look like it's a direct hit. Tuesday into Wednesday of next week, colder briefly before returning back to above freezing. Even down the shore, better chances to see some snow for you, specifically on Sunday afternoon and evening, and then clearing by Monday, but still chilly to finish the last week in February. Waking up in the 20s, climbing to the low 30s, so I think we get a few more rounds of chilly weather, and then Ken warms up very nicely into March.
Sorry, I'm just getting all
I
excited by
know.
that.
I'm
And
getting
I
excited
actually,
too.
when you said chilly weather, I got excited because immediately I thought of food, but that's a whole other story. All right, Mike, thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you as always. Have a wonderful day. It is now 31 degrees, northern New Jersey, 34 degrees in Trenton. Just a little chill down that we get. Sometimes that happens in the morning and then it comes right back up, but it's damp, foggy, as Mike said, showers and, light rain throughout much of the day with temps in the low 40s. Some traffic to talk about throughout the area right now. Let's start if we can. Sorry, Pam, let me just interject with this. We have something new here. New Jersey Turnpike Outer Roadway northbound, north of Interchange 11. We have a debris spill. So that is right near the Garden State Parkway interchange in Woodbridge, 2 left lanes blocked. So that is, again, New Jersey Turnpike Outer Roadway northbound, north of Interchange 11, Garden State Parkway. In Woodbridge Township, 2 left lanes blocked due to a debris spill. All of the area airports, make sure if you are driving yourself there, the parking lots are pretty full because this is a holiday week, the long weekend because of President's Day. A lot of people took like a midwinter break and went away. Make sure you have a reserved parking space or take an Uber, Lyft, or taxi to get to the airport, or else you may get there and then miss your plane because you can't park your car anywhere. We have a crash now, Route 4 eastbound, west of Webster Avenue, Teaneck. One right lane is closed and the right shoulder as well. And you can see the residual delays that's causing for about a mile and a half. Water main break to report, 202 both directions south of Route 24, Washington Street in Morris Township. All lanes are now closed. And the Hudson River crossings, the Holland Tunnel right now is going to cost you 25 minutes. Just some delays, something going on in the middle of one of the 2 tubes. The Lincoln Tunnel now is 35 minutes. GWB has been pretty good, upper and lower levels. You see the upper level on the right, lower on the left. Just be careful with the dampness on the roadways and the fog. 8:49 right now. And sorry, reminding everybody that we still have the new schedule for the Portal Bridge because of the Portal Bridge being replaced with the Portal Bridge North. That's the new one. There's only 50% capacity for all people on NJ Transit. So if you take NJ Transit, make sure you use the app to see what the new temporary schedule is because you're going to be jammed onto a lot of trains and buses because any of the vehicles that would be going over, trains or buses going over that bridge, that's going to be rerouted. Everything is very slow. Give yourselves extra time and patience. Again, the Portal Bridge, NJ Transit, make sure you check the app. Now, mental health continues to be a major issue. A new nonprofit is helping meet that need. Grit Healthcare New Jersey has opened in Fairfield with in-person and virtual mental health services. Laura Del Tufo is the co-CEO and joins us to talk about the organization's mission. Good morning to you, Laura. Good to have you on.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you. Well, yeah, just thinking about the NJ Transit issues makes me want to call you folks just for that alone. What led to have you and your co-founder launch Grid Healthcare New Jersey?
Well, I certainly think we are experiencing a mental health crisis these days. Post COVID, we're really in some difficult times. And we saw that there were very long wait lists at community mental health centers. Often individuals had to wait 2 or 3 months before they could get an appointment. If they had the funds to go to a private practice or they had insurance that would pay for a private practice, they would, be able to get an appointment fairly quickly. But for those that don't have those funds or are covered by Medicaid, the wait lists were very long. So we wanted to open up access for those individuals.
All right. And a lot of local leaders came to your opening. So what does that say about the need for your services? Clearly, they recognize it.
They did. We were so incredibly grateful for Assemblyman Barlas came and Mayor Galise attended as well. I think it just shows the support of the town. It's a very close-knit community, and they were incredibly supportive. They recognized that there is a need, and they were very welcoming to us.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that's a good thing. Do you see yourselves expanding beyond Fairfield? I mean, because the need is so big, not just in Fairfield, clearly, but much of New Jersey.
Absolutely. What I'm finding actually a lot of individuals want in-person services. So those that are located close to Fairfield, they've been coming into the office, but we offer the virtual care because we want to be able to offer our services to anyone in New Jersey, but we are happy to expand our in-person services in the future as well.
All right. And you offer therapy to everything from therapy to medication management. So why is it so important to sort of have everything under the umbrella under one roof?
It is wraparound care is incredibly important. It's been shown to improve outcomes and help individuals be more successful in meeting their goals. Some individuals just need someone to talk to. They need some additional strategies. Some would benefit from some medication management. That's why we offer that. But we know how important case management and care coordination is, and not all individuals offer that. And we really made sure that was a priority for us. Some people just do not have the ability to make doctor's appointments or follow-ups or, have all of the other elements of their lives in place, and we're able to assist them with that. And it really does improve their outcomes.
I will say this, I have a 95-year-old dad who's a veteran. And so he does have, private health care as well and goes to his private doctor, but he goes, and this is of course on a much larger scale, but he goes to a VA hospital for certain things as well. And they do everything under the one roof. I never thought that a government-run hospital like that could be anything decent. I thought it was going to be a nightmare the first time I took him. It is extremely well organized, and there is something to be said about, the general practitioner looks at him and says, "Oh, you need to have your ears cleaned out. Go down to the audiology." Walk into audiology. They say, "Oh, you know what? You could probably benefit from a new pair of glasses." You go over to, and it's amazing because it's all under the one roof, especially now when you're dealing with people with transportation issues and elderly and whatnot. It really does make a difference, and I'm sure you've seen that with your patients.
Absolutely. We do everything we can to remove the barriers, and any barrier, as you mentioned, transportation or just another appointment or trying to fit something into their schedule can lead people to just not accessing those services. So we're there to provide as much under our roof, but also help coordinate additional services.
So important. What do you think is leading to so much of the stress? Is it a monetary thing? Is it a government thing? We just see so much right now, the stress levels, and so many people now seeking some mental health counseling.
Absolutely. I think we live in some tough times. Certainly in the area that we live in, there's financial strains. We're seeing that with a lot of the individuals that we're working with. Anxiety and depression is what's presenting the most at our organization, but also relational issues. It's great to see, I'm seeing more men come in for services. There was a stigma in the past, and I think we've worked really hard to sort of break that stigma. And they're really coming in to work on some conflict within the relationship.
Yeah. I have a friend who's a geriatrician who said that now we're seeing, what used to be a rarity of somebody living to be 100. Now he says, I got about 50 clients 50 patients who are 100 years old. And we're helping people live longer, but he talked about the fact that many of them, they've lost all their friends, they've lost many family members, And there's a lot of sadness and depression among those people. And I think a lot of people, especially older people, have that mindset of if you go for mental health treatment, you're weak or there's something wrong with you. Instead of looking at it as any other medical case to be treated, right? It's if you have a flu, you'll go to the doctor. If you have a cold, you go to the if you have a depression, stress, anxiety, why is that old school mentality still there where people think there's something wrong or weak about going for mental health?
Absolutely. And it can only help you. It's for anyone, it's nice to have another individual that can just help you see a different perspective, be a listening ear, and maybe just offer some strategies that you hadn't thought about. There's no harm in it. So I encourage anyone just to reach out if they feel any sort of stress, anxiety, or depression.
Yeah, it really does make all the difference. And just if you think about it as just another kind of illness, then you realize that, yeah, you would treat any other illness. Why wouldn't you treat depression or stress, et cetera? Treat it. And today, with especially with telemed, you folks offer telemed as well, right?
We do. It's so convenient. It's so easy. You can, on your lunch break, if you want to have services, we see people, in the middle of the day. We see people right after work. If they have an hour to set aside on the weekends, we're available. We offer hours specifically to meet the needs of everybody. We're open from 9 to 9, so whether that's in person or virtual, but we also offer weekend hours. I'm a marriage and family therapist myself, so I know how important it is for parents that have very busy schedules themselves and their children have all different sports and activities. Sometimes the only availability you have is the weekend, so we want to make sure that we're available to those people.
Laura, what's a website for people to get more information?
Our website is grithealthcarenj.org.
All right. And we thank Laura Del Tufo, the co-CEO of Grit Healthcare New Jersey in Fairfield, for coming on this morning. And I'm sure we'll have you back on when you have 10 more locations on. We hope to see you back here soon. Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Well, it is 37 degrees right now in northern New Jersey, 34 degrees in Trenton, 8:58. Meteorologist Mike Favetta says some steady light rain through the day, highs in the low 40s. And that is on New Jersey Mornings for your Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. I'm Ken Rosato. Remember, you can stream us at onnj.com, onlaca.com, Roku, Fire TV, News on Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, YouTube, Facebook, and X, and now stream live on Substack, Rumble, Twitch, and Local Now. We'll catch you again tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Tell all your friends about us. Till then, have a great day.